You know that feeling when tax season creeps up? It's like a dark cloud just hovering over your to-do list. Well, if you've ever felt that anxiety, you are exactly where you need to be. Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we are going to discover the completely stress-free way to pay your property taxes online in Mahoning County. We're going to save you time, show you how to avoid some pretty nasty penalties, and make the whole process totally seamless. So grab a coffee, and let's get into how you can handle your property taxes securely right from your own couch. Here is our quick roadmap for today. We'll start with property taxes and deadlines, then move to finding your tax information, run through a step-by-step online payment guide, break down the payment methods and fees, and finally, look at alternatives and relief programs. All right, let's dive right into part one, property taxes and deadlines, understanding the stakes and due dates. Now, we all know real estate property taxes are absolutely essential. We're talking about roughly $340 million collected yearly. This money is literally the lifeblood of our local schools, our roads, and our community infrastructure. But I want you to ask yourself, do you want a stress-free way to handle this in Mahoning County? Think about the old school method for a second, digging through paper piles for the bill, writing out a physical check, and then just kind of crossing your fingers and wondering if it actually arrived on time. The Treasurer's office knows this is a hassle, which is exactly why they've shifted toward a highly secure online environment. It completely bypasses all those old headaches. And bypassing those headaches is absolutely critical because, honestly, the stakes are pretty high here. Here's the kicker. If your payment is not received or officially postmarked by the exact deadline, a 10% penalty is immediately slapped onto your outstanding balance. Let me repeat that, an immediate 10% penalty. There are some counties in Ohio that might give you a tiny 5% grace period right after the due date, but not here. In Mahoning County, they apply the full 10% penalty right out of the gate. Ouch, right? So when is the big day? For the upcoming cycle, your first half 2025 real estate taxes are due on March 6, 2026. I want to just pause here for a second to really make sure that date sinks in. March 6, 2026. Actually, taking a second to set a quick calendar reminder on your phone right now is a really smart move because missing that single date is what triggers that massive 10% penalty we just talked about. Okay, moving on to section 2, finding your tax information. What you need before you start. Before you can actually pay, we got to gather our tools, specifically your property details. You are going to need your assessor's parcel number, commonly known as your APN. If you don't happen to have your physical bill handy, no sweat. You just navigate over to the Mahoning County Auditor's public database, or you can use the county's GIS viewer. All you do is type in your address, securely query the property records, and jot down your APN. Armed with that specific number, you are fully ready to pay. All right, section 3, step-by-step online payment. Let's navigate the Municipay system together. So Mahoning County uses a super secure encrypted payment gateway called Municipay. It's really straightforward. Let's walk through the 5 quick steps on this digital pathway. First up, portal access. You just navigate to the official Municipay portal directly through the county's website. Second, the parcel query. This is where you punch in that assessor's parcel number we just found. Third is account review, where you pull up your active records to view your itemized invoice. Make sure everything looks right. Fourth, payment entry. You just pick how you want to pay. And finally, execution. You approve the terms and boom, the system generates an immediate digital receipt. It is incredibly fast and gives you instant peace of mind. Which brings us to section 4, payment methods and fees. Let's break down the exact costs. Whenever you pay online, Municipay operates on what's called a dual merchant model. Basically, your payment splits in two behind the scenes. Your actual tax amount goes straight to the treasurer, and a separate, non-refundable convenience fee goes to the payment processor. If you decide to use a credit or debit card, that processing fee is 2.5% of your total tax bill with a minimum fee of $2. But if you use an electronic check, an ACH transfer straight from your bank, it is a flat fee of just $1.50, no matter how huge your tax bill is. So for the vast majority of folks, going with the electronic check is definitely the most cost-effective pro move here. But beyond the traditional cards and checks, the absolute coolest thing about this modern system is that it supports a ton of digital wallets. You can literally pay your property taxes using Apple Pay, Google Pay, Samsung Pay, PayPal, or even Venmo. How crazy is that? Just one quick thing to keep in mind, though. The fee you get charged is based on the underlying funding method inside your digital wallet. So if your Apple Pay is linked to a stored credit card, you're going to see that 2.50% fee. But if your PayPal is linked directly to your checking account, you get that super low $150 e-check rate. Now listen up, because this is absolutely crucial. You have to recognize the stark difference between using the official county portal versus unofficial third-party aggregators you might stumble across on Google, sites like Doxo, for example. The official Municipay portal is directly endorsed by the county and offers immediate, real-time settlement of your bill. Third-party sites? Well, they often batch process payments days later. And here is the scary part. If they delay the transfer of funds and it misses the deadline, you are the one who remains legally liable for that 10% late fee. Never risk it. Always, always stick to the official county links. Let's wrap things up with Section 5, Alternatives and Relief Programs. Safety nets and traditional methods. Look, sometimes things don't go according to plan, or maybe you just prefer doing things the old-fashioned way. But first, we need to bust a very persistent myth. We hear this all the time: well, I never got my physical tax bill in the mail, so they can't penalize me for paying late, right? Actually, that is absolutely false. Under the law, the non-receipt of a physical tax bill does not relieve you of your obligation to pay on time, and it definitely does not void that 10% penalty. It is explicitly your responsibility as the taxpayer to track down and secure your bill. Now, if you do decide you want to mail a paper check, you really need to understand how the deadline works. The Treasurer's Office relies strictly on the official postmark date applied by the United States Postal Service. If you just drop an envelope into a blue mailbox on the actual due date, well, it might not get collected, processed, and postmarked until the very next day. And guess what? That makes it late. If you are mailing anywhere close to the deadline, do yourself a huge favor. Walk inside the post office and ask the clerk for an in-person, hand-stamped postmark right at the counter. It is the best way to protect yourself from that penalty. For those of you who prefer to skip the internet altogether, you still have some excellent options. You can use their interactive voice response system by calling 330-408-6150 to make an automated phone payment 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can also just go in person and pay using cash, a check, or a card at the Treasurer's Office. They're located on the first floor of the courthouse at 120 Market Street. Or, like we just discussed, you can mail in checks or money orders. Just please, whatever you do, never put cash in the mail. Finally, if you are looking at your tax bill and feeling a bit overwhelmed, take a deep breath. There are relief programs specifically designed to help you. If you are currently caught up on your taxes but just want an easier way to budget for the future, you can enroll in the Tax Installment Plan, or TIP. This lets you prepay your upcoming taxes in much smaller, manageable monthly chunks. On the flip side, if you have fallen behind and are facing some distress, please contact Taxpayer Services right away. They can set up delinquency contracts. As long as you stick to the agreement, this contract will completely stop the bleeding and halt the accrual of any further fees and penalties. They really are there to work with you. You just have to reach out. So, to wrap things up, I do need to share this quick reminder. This explainer is intended to provide general guidance. For specific issues or personalized assistance, please contact the Mahoning County Treasurer's Office directly or consult a professional. But honestly, I highly encourage you to go online, grab your APN, and just get that tax payment knocked out today, well before that March 6th deadline. And hey, be sure to share this explainer with family and friends in Mahoning County who might need a little help navigating this system this year. Thanks so much for joining me. So what do you say? Are you ready to take control of your finances, completely skip the lines, and banish that 10% penalty for good?